What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to take us through a full day of eating and what I'm eating on a non-training day. You'll see in this video here that there's some clips from another video that I tried to make, but it didn't just come together so well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of those clips in today, because that does have some parts of the food that I was eating on my last rest day, which was Sunday, or I might forget to include today, so you might see some jumps in the video. So if you haven't already, please be sure to share and subscribe, and sit back, relax and enjoy the video. So there's a couple of things that I think we need to start with: how many calories I'm on today, how I'm going to get through the day, and what's happening. So there's a lot to kind of debrief here. So firstly, I'm on 1700 calories on a rest day, and these calories were updated yesterday by my coach. Secondly, as well, I have very little carbs, but we're going to talk about that later in the video, and how I'm not actually going to have a so little amount of carbs. I'm actually going to add more in. And thirdly, I have no movement whatsoever today, and that's because I've injured my foot. So from doing the Stairmaster and my 12,000 steps on a daily basis, I've picked up a bit of an injury. I do think it's down to the amount of work that I have done this year physically. Since January of this year, I haven't really taken a rest day from the gym through prep or just trying to get myself back into a considerable condition, or to get myself back into a condition that I'm happy with. I did weigh myself this morning, and I was sitting at 83.5 kg, which is the lightest I have been in some time now. So we are moving in the right direction, but for the next week I am now on a rest week protocol, so I am going to take control of my calories ever so slightly, just to make sure that I fully recover and hopefully get this foot back to full recovery as soon as possible, because the worst thing I could have is this holding me back from then being able to make the progress that I need, so that when I go into an off-season / bulk, I can then make sure that I can manage it properly and get the most out of it. Currently, I'm supposed to be doing 45 minutes of cardio a day, which is a lot, and I think it's almost too much. And I think my body's now just pushing back, because I don't normally get injuries, and when I do get injuries, it's normally my body saying that I need to take a break or slow down. So majority of calories today will be coming from protein. However, I will probably drop the fats a little bit more to add some more carbohydrates in. So as I said from the last clip there, I'm having a pint of water with the tablets that I'm having. So this is my vitamin C first. Because my meal one takes a bit longer than what I'd like to cook, I normally would have my vitamin C first, and then I'd have my electrolytes when I'm eating meal one. This just allows me to get the fluids in, and sometimes it also means that I can add a bit more water in just to get everything going throughout the day. So it makes my life a lot easier. So if you are someone who is struggling to get water in, as I keep saying to all my clients as well, just neck a litre of water first thing in the morning, and it's going to make your life easier. It takes a litre off your day, and you don't need to be drinking 5 litres like me. 4 litres is more than enough. And if you're not drinking a litre of water while training, then you're confusing me, because you need to be at least having that amount of water, because of the sweating that you'll be doing and training if you are training properly. Just to continue on the topic of having more carbs today, everybody is different, but what I have learned about my body over this year and just training in general is that my body likes carbs more than fats, and I can definitely agree to that. However, because my coach has pulled my carbs so low recently, I've been having some digestive issues, and I think that's causing overall stress to my body. Now mentally I feel okay, because I'm able to perform to a high standard when it comes to critical thinking with work and different things like that there. However, when it comes to the body side of things, I might be feeling a little bit stressed out. So I also think that by having more carbs over the next week to allow my body to fully recover and just get everything into normal working range again is going to massively help me to pull off this last 5 kg of fat. Because if I can do this, it means we can start the bulk, and once we do that, everything is going to be a lot easier once again. Time for meal one now, and today we have 1 egg white, 250 mils of egg whites, and some turkey rashers with some spinach along the top, just to fill it out a little bit. I also have my electrolytes here now, along with my vitamin D. So the total calories and macros for this meal are as follows. Protein 39 grams, carbohydrates 10, and fat is 5. This is 241 calories to start me off today. Preferably as well, I'm someone that likes to save my food for a little bit later in the day, normally after training, but if I'm not training today, I like to try and keep my food for just after lunch to kind of give me that push into the evening. So we'll be kind of following that aspect of things today. So once we finish this, I need to prep some food for my next couple of meals, and then we'll get stuck into some work today, which is going to be a lot of YouTube shorts and also reels for Instagram. The next snack slash meal I'm having today is some pita bread with jam on it. I currently have my turkey burgers and veg cooking at the moment, so once they're done in the next 10 minutes, I'll be eating them as well. So this is kind of like a pre-warm-up or just something quickly with the extra carbs today, as I was talking about, just to make sure that everything normalizes over the next week or so. So I'll eat this now, and then in the next 10 minutes, I'll be back then to get my next meal of the day. So meal number 2 of the day is turkey burgers, 100 grams of veg, and 20 grams of almond butter. This meal consists of 47 grams of protein, 11 grams of carbs, 16 grams of fat, and it's a total of 376 calories. This is something I actually do enjoy having on my rest days because of the almond butter. Ever since I competed, I have been eating almond butter and I really do enjoy it. And it's just something I try to have in my diet at least once or twice a week, just for extra healthy fats. It's currently 2:50 in the afternoon at the moment, and I'm starting to get a little bit hungry again since I last ate about an hour ago. So to try and subside some of my cravings for the next few hours, I am going to open up my first monster of the day. Now, when I say the first one, this is the only one, and I am trying to keep these specifically for rest days, just so that I can subside any cravings and make sure that I can stay within my calorie target for the day. I find that caffeine does help me massively, so this will be the next thing that I'm having today, but because it's only got 15 calories, I don't count it, I count it as 0. So this is just a drink that I'm having, but again, I am just showing you everything today apart from water, which is 5 litres that I'm having. Time for meal 3 now, and I'm having some beef on the pan here, and that is because when I went into the fridge, there was no chicken left, so I'm going to have to go out and buy some. The easiest thing to do as well is to swap all my meals about. So this is normally my 4th meal of the day, so I'm swapping meals 3 and 4 around, probably even 3 and 5 around. But essentially what I'm going to do is, as meal 3 is the exact same as meal 2, I only have chicken in it instead of turkey burgers. I'm going to make that my last meal of the day, and before I go out to the gym, I'll probably have meal 4 as well. So it is currently 3:30 at the moment, and I need to get more food in. I'm going to need to be in the gym for about 5, so I'll probably take that meal with me and have it around 6 o'clock tonight, and then have my final meal probably somewhere around 8:45 tonight, so a little bit later than what we would normally have. But again, needs must, we need to cook the chicken when we come in, but thankfully, because I already have all my veg cooked here as well, it will make my life a lot easier for coming home tonight. One thing I want to add to everything that you're seeing today is this works for me, this might not work for you, so there's no point in possibly following it. Now, you can take ideas from this, but the worst thing you could do is follow everything like for like. As I've been saying throughout this video, I am trying to get my digestion sorted slightly, so I am adding more carbs in. On a typical rest day, if I was training and doing my cardio as I should be, then I'd only be having 114 grams of carbs today, which is extremely low. So I am trying to bump that up. I probably will add some cream of rice in or some extra carbohydrates somewhere else, just to make sure that I can get enough in for the day. So as you'll be able to see from the potatoes that I made earlier on, I am saving myself more for the next couple of days when I have my training day calories again. For some structure, I am just going to follow the same kind of routine. Thursday and Sunday being rest days and the rest of the week being training days, I'm going to still follow that structure to make sure that I can get everything in. So what I will be doing is I will be adding in extra carbohydrates to my training days and non-training days going forward for the next week to help with recovery, and then we'll go back into the grueling grind of things. But I am hoping that over the next week, with having some more carbohydrates in my diet, this will help boost my metabolism again, so that we can then push through going forward and then make sure we can get this last bit of fat pulled off as quickly as possible, as I do think my metabolism has taken a bit of a nosedive due to how low my carbohydrates are at the moment. So fingers crossed this will be the solution to the problem that we have at the moment. On to the next meal of the day, which is beef, potato and veg. I like to add veg into all my meals on a rest day to beef out my plate a little bit more so that there's more volume and it keeps me full. Looking at this plate, this is going to keep me full for a very long time and there's plenty on the plate. The macros for this meal are as follows. In this meal, we've got 45 grams of protein, 59 carbs and 8 grams of fat, which is a total of 488 calories. This is probably going to be one of the heavier carb meals that I've had today so far. So what I want to do from this point is push on to making sure that I'm having more carbs throughout the rest of the evening. This is going to help me sleep better tonight. And also, I just want to make sure that for digestive reasons, I'm not eating carbs too late. So that's why I'm going to try in the next couple of meals, bulk my carbs in a little bit more, just to make things a wee bit easier. As you can see, I've got two different sauces on my plate here as well. That's a little bit of low calorie mayo and some low calorie red sauce. On the topic of sauces as well, when you're eating them, make sure that you're going for the reduced sugars and reduced fat options. If you're having full calorie sauces, this is going to add a lot of calories to your day and this could then put you in a surplus overall. As you can see on my plate here, the sauce is minimized to a certain amount so that I'm not continuing to have more and more and more. I am somebody who does like sauces a lot and it's important for me to make sure that I'm not having too much so that I can make sure that I'm eating in a calorie deficit to make sure I can get this fat off. So for me, or even yourselves, make sure you're picking up the reduced fat options where possible. I know Heinz have came out with a 0 calorie option now, I think, but the reduced sugar one is more than enough for me at the moment. And this garlic sauce that I have here, it is a bit of a reduced fat one. Again, just making sure that I'm keeping my calories as low as possible to make some changes. I think what I might do is I might remove this garlic mayo altogether and go to the 11 calorie mayo that Heinz do as well, I think, or whoever does it, just until I get this last bit of fat off me after this next week or so. Alright, so I've been in the gym for about 2 hours now and we have our yogurt bowl here that has 100 grams of frozen berries. It's got 200 grams of Greek yogurt, 30 grams of whey protein powder and about 10 grams of honey. In this, there's 240 calories altogether. There's 48 grams of protein, 23 grams of carbs, and 0 fat. So this will definitely keep me going until I can get home to get my final meal, which will be the chicken meal that I've talked about today. So fingers crossed this will keep me going for the next 2 hours before we get home. Still need to cook the chicken, but hopefully it won't take too long because I will probably marinate the rest of my chicken and only cook one bit tonight then. It's now the next day and I've got the chicken finally sorted. Decided to put it on the barbecue tonight to make things a little bit easier for myself. So what I've done is, you can't see it at the moment, but I'll show you in a minute. I've got the chicken breasts on the barbecue with some seasoning on the top of them. So what I have done is, I'm going to remove basically the carbohydrates from my meal that I'm supposed to have with chicken today to keep it as consistent as possible with my rest day. I said earlier on in the video that I had an exact replica meal of the turkey burgers, but it was with chicken and I didn't buy any chicken yesterday. So I'm going to now make that meal once I go in and once this chicken's cooked, just to show you what it's like, just to keep everything as consistent as possible. And then from there, we can wrap up the video. On top of everything else, I said about my water intake during this video. I only have about this much here to finish for the rest of the evening. And then I'll have my water of 5 litres completed for the day. Again, I'm just making sure to have a pint with every meal just to make it consistent as possible and trying to go out for steps where I can. My foot is still killing me, so steps are minimal and we're just trying to do our best to recover as quick as possible so that I can get back out and continue on with everything. However, once it gets into the new week, I am going to try and start doing some cardio again, just on the bike, even with it being only maybe half an hour, just to get the metabolism boosted up a little bit more again. So we've got our final meal now, which is our chicken, veg and almond butter here. There is a total, don't know what the calories are exactly, so I'll stick them up on the screen like I have with every other meal. But yeah, this will round my calories off for the day, which are going to be on the screen now. And once I finish this and get this into me, I'll then finish up the video for today.